Hey there, guys. So this is Jesse with YouTube again. Hey, I'm in the shop. Kind of a rare time situation. I haven't spent a ton of time out here. Anyways, so we've had this issue. We got a robot vacuum. It's called a Tonar. Looks just like the Robo, the other brand of Robo vacuums. But shortly after we got it, it started having this weird problem where it would charge. It was on a schedule. It would go out and do its thing and vacuum, kind of like a mentally handicapped stepchild running into stuff. Whatever. Went and did its thing. It did a pretty decent job. When it came back, it would charge, or it'd dock, start charging, and after about a minute, maybe not even that, 30 seconds, it would just start beeping like there was an error, and you couldn't clear the error unless you unplugged the battery and plugged it back in. This went on for a long time, and I didn't get off my lazy butt to check it or dig into it. Sorry, I'm trying not to get the lights in the background, but hope I'm not glaring you too much. But anyways, finally got around to digging into it a little bit, and so the battery pack it uses is a 14, I want to say 14.4, could be 14.6 pack of lithium ion batteries. So 4 batteries in series, 3 point whatever volts per each. Anyways, so the charger is 19 volts, and the docking station just throughputs that 19. I mean, it drops a fraction of a volt going through the docking station. The docking station has, I'll show it to you real quick, has a sensor board on it, and it has some LEDs, infrared LEDs, and a conical cone-shaped inverted mirror type thing, and all that just helps direct itself into where it needs to go. Doesn't take much power. So I took I'm sorry I didn't get a lot of footage of this, but I took the docking station and the Tonar and the Robo vacuum. I took the battery out, I unplugged it, I flipped it upside down, I put the docking station on it upside down, so where these holes are where the contacts are supposed to be. I cut them off, they're right here. So they would, the contacts are making contact with the vacuum. And then I put my meter where the battery would be to see what the voltage is going into the battery. And I am not super up to speed on lithium ion charging and stuff like that. But typically my experience has been with most batteries, you're looking at about 2 volts above whatever the threshold or standard voltage of the battery. So in a car, for example, you have a 12 volt car battery and your alternator puts out about 14 volts, give or take, a lot of other lithium ion, like the cells, I don't remember the name, but they got the long numerical name, put out 3.6. You want to charge them at like 4.2, 4.8, so you're looking at about a volt ish. So this guy was outputting 19 volts to a 14 volt battery, and that just seemed really high to me. So I think my battery's shot because it's been overcharged once a day for however long I've had it, a year, 8 months, 6 months, whatever. And so now it goes and it tries to vacuum. It runs about 5 minutes. Battery's drained, and then it goes back and docks, and then we don't have to plug it anymore to reset it, but it's just dead. And so I'm probably gonna have to replace the battery. I don't know if I'm gonna order a battery pack from the company, if they even have it. It's probably not under warranty. I sent them an email shortly after it started happening when it was an issue. The company's virtually unresponsive, or not virtually, in my case, 100% unresponsive. And it looks like there is a ton of other people with the same problem. And not everybody though, but it's like if it is an issue, it becomes an issue and you have a problem with it. And other people just don't have an issue with it, or they don't report it, one or the other. Because it was one of the best rated robot vacuums in its price range. And it was relatively inexpensive, so you kind of get what you pay for to some extent. But there's not a lot of excuses when it comes to basic electronics. I mean, it doesn't take much to just, I mean, this seems like quite the oversight. So anyways, my solution, gonna have to replace the battery anyways. I don't want to get a whole new one, is a buck boost converter. So I got 19 volts going in here into the little socket, and it goes pretty much straight throughput, and comes out 19 volts still, because it's like 19.1. It just a hair over 19 volts out of the charger, and into here it ends up being going into this guy here, it ends up being 19, and comes out of this right about 19, maybe, I want to say it's pretty close to 19, maybe 18.9. And then going through the entire toner, the entire robot vacuum, it drops about a volt. You're looking about 18 something, less than a volt, but 18, anyways, 18 something. So I soldered in the input of my buck boost converter, 16 volts coming out. So I figure 16 volts coming out of this guy, like 16.1. I lose a volt in the toner itself, so by the time it actually gets to the battery, you're looking at about 15 volts. Might be a little low. I don't know if that's gonna even charge it. I might tweak it a little bit to get 16 and a half, something. I just know I don't want 19. So anyways, I'll see if I can edit this together with the results, and I'll show you, maybe I'll show you me putting it back together. All right, bye. All right, just giving you a quick overview. I replaced the old wires with a little better wires. So here's one of the contacts. They're just loosely and held in place, just to show you guys. Negative, positive. Board is going to come out right here. Oh, someone's coming in. Board's going to go right there. Okay, so I got the buck boost converter installed in this, buttoned back up. Just wanted to show you the battery. So this is the battery. See if it will focus. Oh, really? Wow. Anyways, 14.4 volts. It's just really not going to focus on there. 14.4 volts. This is the housing that it sits in. God, it's just horrible lighting. All right, put it back together and test it and show you what happens. All right, it is charging. Take it out there for a second. I'll show you this guy. So that little light is the buck boost converter. Push home. Ignore the dog food. Dog's a messy eater. See if I can find its home. You got the shoes strategically placed because it's the exact same height as that, and you'll get itself wedged. It's acting like it can't see its home. Maybe adding the buck boost converter. Thought I did it at the tail end. Shouldn't be affecting any of the LEDs or anything. Let's see what it does. Right in front of its house. Wow. Can't see anything. It's gone retarded. Alright, I'll come back when I figure something out. Okay, the buck boost converter is gone. I am now trying I have four 4.7 ohm resistors in parallel. So putting a meter across it, it's actually reading about 3 ohms ish. Which I'm hoping will give me a little bit of a voltage drop to did I say they're quarter watt? Yeah, so 4/4 watt. So I got about a watt, 3 ohms at a watt. Resistance, I spliced that guy back in, put some heat shrink on. I'm going to slide heat shrink over this guy, put it back together, and try it again. What was happening is it was charging, but there wasn't enough power to power like this LED array and circuit board. So I don't understand what the issue is, but I'm assuming it's one of these chipsets is rated at a higher voltage or something. Well, I don't know, because I'm being lazy here. So 2 of the pins go to the board to power it, and the other 2 pins go to this guy here. So in all reality, I'm assuming that the buck boost converter was pulling, it's only 600 milliamps at 19 volts, so I'm assuming the buck boost converter was pulling too many milliamps to, I know the kit take a couple of volts to operate, or a volt or 2 volts, I don't know, I can't remember, but I don't know how many milliamps they take to operate. I just can't remember. So I'm going to try a resistor. I'm hoping that 3 volt or 3 ohms doesn't put too much of a load on it to take away from this guy. We'll just see. Alright, bye. Okay, so the red wire you see right in front of you, right here, I added an additional like 90k ohm resistor and dropped it down to 17 volts. My lights lit up, so I'm getting enough voltage here. So I have a 1 watt worth of resistance here and another 1/4 watt worth of resistance here, if I'm thinking that right. I got 2 resistors here. I got a, what do I have? Never mind. I got a 75k ohm and a 55k ohm resistor in series, and they're 1/4 watt. And then I got 4 4.7 ohm 1/4 watt resistors. So I got resistance on both sides. Don't know if that makes a difference. I'm gonna go put it back together again and see if it'll find home. Hey, it's finding its way home. That's weird. It's even worse, kinda. It's like I can't quite get lined up. Too much internal voltage. Too much dog food in the way. Try this again. Really? See if I can help it here. Maybe it's too low a voltage? I'll come back when I figure something out. Really? So I took out a resistor, so it's only the 75K. So this thing puts out 18 volts compared to the original 19 volts. This thing's being silly. Can't do anything. It goes back and forth because I'm assuming that's the protocol. It gets on there, has a low voltage, and it's trying to either clear itself or get on the contacts. Unreal. I know it's making good contact. Let's just see what happens if I turn it off. Just set it on there. What a pain in the butt. next step is open this thing up. But I think I'm just about done with it for the night. Yeah, there might be a part 2.